total cost function for producing X lamps is given by, and then we have a total cost function. Producing how many units, X, will result in a minimum average cost per unit. That's the most important word right there, is that we want the average cost, not the cost. So I'm not trying to find the minimum of this function I was given, because that's the total cost. I want to find the minimum of the average cost. So I'm going to do a little bit of backwards thinking here. I want to find average cost, and I want to have that column, and then so I can look down that column and find the smallest one. And then this, I'm just going to kind of, it's the equivalent of taking notes. I just want to do some typing. So if I start with a single quote mark and apostrophe, then whatever I type, it'll just echo. So if I do equals, and then I start to type, like for instance, type average, see how it's not reading any formulas? But without that apostrophe mark, if I do equals, and then see now it's in formula mode. And I don't want it to recognize that equal sign as starting a formula. I just want to type it. So apostrophe and then equals. I want total cost and then divided by units. That's how I get average cost, which means I now need a total cost column and a units column. Well, total cost, typing notes again, that's the formula I was given. That's the 1800 plus 35x plus 0.5x squared. And units is just x. So now if I start with x, total cost can be built from that, and then average cost can be built from those two previous columns. So let me put some data in here. I don't know, 5, 10, 15, so on. I really don't know where to start, but I can get a sense of what I need if I just get some data to work on. 1800 plus 35 times x plus 0.5 times x squared. And then average cost is total cost divided by units. Copy those down. And then I can scan through the values for my average cost, 119, 110, 103, 100. See, they're still decreasing. Like I haven't found a minimum value yet. If I extend my data and then copy my formulas down, 97, 96, 95, 95.1, it looks like that's going to be where my minimum is. I could also, there's nothing else on this page, so I'm just going to choose the entire column, hold down the control key, entire column, and Excel will only graph where there's data. So I want to insert a graph. This is what my average cost function looks like. Let me make it a little bit smaller so we can see it better. See, the average cost comes down sharply and then it's leveling off. And from the graph, those all look like they're the same value. I mean, it would be hard to tell from a graph what the minimum is, but with the data, I can see where it is. And it was here. I could also take one of these lines and pull up Solver. And ask Solver, there it is, to find the minimum for the average cost, minimum, by changing the value of the units. And it finds essentially 60 and 95, which was right there. Okay, so the minimum happened at 60 units, and the minimum value of the average cost was $95.